You're watching Final Score with Wes Moore on Fox 16.
Election season is upon us. We got more food than Golden Corral.
I'm glad you're here, though. I'm sure glad you're here. I like that coach. He hang back south. He's staying on it. I don't know what for. I'm sorry, man.
As far as the 3-4 goes, I thought there was a little confusion. I thought the guys adapted well.
I'm officially running for Senate. Joe T. Robinson is my running mate.
Mitch, I'm going to let you get out of the chair. It looks like you're about to break.
Oh, yeah. I think it's important, man.
I got one question for you. How does this game remind you of your forefathers?
Next week, hopefully.
Come on home! Woo!
You know, that intro never really gets old, and it's especially awesome to watch that after a Razorback win.
Well, thank you, Ben.
I've never seen you that formal in the 3 years now we've worked together.
I'm trying better, trying to refine myself.
Mitch Petrus back here talking Hogs after their win against Eastern Illinois. Okay, obviously the biggest storyline. See what I did there?
I like it. I like it.
Ty Story, 261 yards, 12 of 17, 3 TDs in the win yesterday. Your thoughts on him, and do you think he propelled himself to be the starter for the Razorbacks going forward, or do you think Chad Morris will maybe stay with the same kind of thing they went with yesterday, with starting Cole Kelly, finishing with
I
them,
think that's hard to say because I think obviously he did great, gave himself a great resume, and did great things on tape to give himself a reason to be the number one quarterback. But I also thought that, well, if he was that good, why didn't he start the game off for the first 4 seasons? They just swapped with him and Kelly. I think Chad Morris says if it's still a competition, it's still a competition. But I was so happy for him to be able to come, and go out there and perform like that. I remember like two years ago when he was at Alabama, he got in for a couple of snaps when Austin got hurt. I think he fumbled a ball on one, and he was just like really nervous. And he's come a long ways since then. And not only that, but he was able to connect some receivers downfield. And I still think Cole Kelly can too, but I think it's that was the most interesting part to take away from the game was who's going to be the quarterback.
Right.
And great hats off to Ty Story.
Well, Chad Morris said, you need to have a guy that's going to provide a spark, and you got to get it into the end zone. And that's what Ty Story was able to do yesterday, and that's what made him stand out.
Right. I agree. I can't say that Cole Kelly didn't get him in the end zone. I mean, he was taken out on the 4th series, but they both put up good numbers. Obviously, Ty Story got more reps because he was producing. Not to take away, not saying that Cole Kelly was not. I think it's great to have 2 quarterbacks competing for a job that are both of quality. I think these 2 guys are. And they both have different styles, but I think they both the competition makes you better. And I'm anxious to see who's going to take that starting role, especially coming into conference play.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see how Chad Morris and all of them handle that QB situation in their next game against Colorado State. Obviously, a much better opponent than Eastern Illinois, and on the road as well. Okay, one thing that Chad Morris really harped on yesterday after the game, they got to improve the running game.
Right.
When you have Devwah Whaley as your leading rusher with only 28 total rushing yards, you got a little bit of a problem. Your impressions on the running game and the offensive line as well?
Not there. In the running game, it's not really Devwah has proven himself he can run the ball. He has not. They're not getting it done up front the first 5. Whether it's your run fits, your technique, not being strong enough, or missed assignments. I'm not sure which one it is right now. It'll take a little more time to figure it out. But me and you both know, if we can't move Eastern Illinois, we can't move anybody in our conference. And so when our leading rusher is 28 yards against Eastern Illinois, that's my biggest concern about this team right now. Is that if you can't run the ball, you can't run the clock. And you've got problems, and you're going to pass protect the whole game and protect your quarterback. Now you've got to be able to run the ball, set up play action. Everybody knows that, and that's the biggest scare I think from this game. It's a small school, at 28 yards, their leading rusher. That's not to panic yet, but we've got to make a big improvement this week. You're about to go on the road. You can't hear. You have to communicate. I mean, you hear the call one time. You've got to be very clear to which linebacker you're working to, your technique, footwork, everything's got to be on point, especially on the road. So they got a lot of work to do up front with those front 5.
Yeah, 80 total yards yesterday. I mean, that's not going to get you done for you at all, especially when you get in the SEC.
Absolutely, Ben. And you don't take a rocket science to figure that out.
No, not at all.
We won the game and everything. And I guess, really here's some things that concern me was that, at times Eastern Illinois was moving the ball. And they made production down the field and were able to get field goal range several times. And the biggest thing that Coach Coughlin taught me in New York is, and he showed the percentages of the history of football in the NFL, that whoever wins the turnover battle for the game wins the game like 85% of the time. Mm-hmm. You know, if you lose a turnover battle and you win the game, that seldomly happens. And when you're +5 or whatever it was, +4, we had 5 turnovers, I believe.
Yep.
And that really sets you up for success. And I was really excited to see how our defense was able to get the ball out, and they were on it and on it. It became addictive. Everybody wanted to get on it. Everybody wanted to get a ball. Everybody wanted to get a strip and then get a fumble. That was really a good strong point. But like we said, everybody is a small team. We won the game. That's great. We got a lot of improvements to do. I think our defense helped us out a lot with those turnovers. Mm-hmm. O-line, get your butt in the weight room, in the film room, because you got a lot of work to do this week. It's not going to be easy. This team is not a joke. You
said last week you wanted to see some dogs on the offensive and the defensive line. Have there been any guys that have really stood out to you so far?
I like our defensive line. I mean, we had a couple sacks. I mean, not stood out to me yet against Eastern Illinois. Mm-hmm. You all should stand out, against Eastern Illinois. And the fact that our offensive line, we had a couple guys on defense get sacked. But as our offensive line goes, nobody stood out because and you point the finger at whoever you want to, but when you start doing that, the problem becomes with yourself. So they've got to get together the front 5 and the tight ends, and the coaches know that, and that's what they'll be doing this year. Now, how much can we improve? I don't know. I hope that was a flop. But that's where he has struggled in the past with our offensive line. And run blocking is a lot easier than pass blocking. Mm-hmm. So if we can't run block, we're definitely not going to be able to pass block in the SEC, for going to play action 7-step in the shotgun. The run sets up the pass. It's basic football 1-on-1. 28 yards leading rusher against Eastern Illinois. Got to do better, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no question. I think at the end of that first, or at least somewhat through that first quarter, it was the Arkansas defense winning the game over the entire Eastern Illinois team.
I say those 5 turnovers, but they won the game, but it really was because they just kept getting the ball back for us. Yeah. They're throwing it to our hands and saying, hey, please do something with us. If it wasn't for those, it'd been a lot more lower scoring game. I think we still would have won the game. Mm-hmm. But that was embarrassing from as an offensive lineman, former offensive lineman for Arkansas, to not be able to run the ball against a cupcake team. I mean, there's no excuse against that. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you got a broke leg. Mm-hmm. So that's got to improve a lot this week, and they better get in tip-top shape because they're going on the road, not going to be able to hear. Mm-hmm. And
the high altitude too in Colorado.
Boy, give me some oxygen. Oh, there, boy.
I feel that.
Oh man, I went to Denver one time and started walking up the mountain. Boy, I ain't doing this again. We ain't going on vacation here.
Oh man, Mitch, appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir, man.
See you again next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, stick around. Coming up, we'll talk even more Razorbacks. Mitch will be joined by Grant Cook when we come back here on The Final Score with Wes Moore.